Hey there, this is Anonymous T. This is my backup channel, Anonymous T Podcast. Do not forget to subscribe to both channels, this channel as well as my main channel, Anonymous T. If you have not already, please like, comment, subscribe, share with your friends, your family, your foes, your coworkers, whomever. But nonetheless, we are back here in the bushes for this particular video because I've realized that there are certain Beyonce topics that not everybody is prepared for, and it's ironic with this video because there's a lot of hypocrisy that's taking place, which we'll get to here in a moment. But nonetheless, if you are a Hive member and you know that you are not going to be able to handle any critique, anybody who does not like this Cowboy Carter album, anybody who does not like the press run associated with this Cowboy Carter album, anybody who is holding Beyonce accountable for any type of, foolishness that is taking place that we have to talk about in public as well as things that are happening behind the scenes, if you know that is not going to be your lane, then don't click on the videos, you guys. That's the whole thing. Don't click on the video. It's not personal. I keep telling you guys this. I was a Beyonce fan. I was a diehard Beyonce fan. So this is not coming from a place of negativity. This is not hate speech. This is not, me calling Beyonce, anything inappropriate. No. It's not. But in this video, we need to talk about Beyonce's mom being a hypocrite. We do. Because now all of a sudden, she claims that she ignores the haters, she ignores negativity, she ignores people that she doesn't like, but the receipts show that she has previously continued to like negative posts, negative stories that are about Jennifer Hudson, that are about Rihanna, and that are about Janet Jackson on repeated occasions. So this is rich coming from her, but we're going to get into it. So her caption says the following, and we'll play the video in a moment. It says, and it's a video basically about like how to basically avoid Beyonce or talking about Beyonce, which is crazy. So it says, yeah, ma'am, amen to that. How many of y'all don't pay attention to people you don't like? I couldn't tell you what artists that I don't like are doing. I don't know, and I don't care, and I keep scrolling. How about y'all? I said that with love, with heart emojis. So this is the video she's talking about, that she's responding to.
Hey, Beyonce's putting an album out, and I want to give you some tips on how to avoid Beyonce if you don't like Beyonce. You were getting ready to tell me how much you don't like Beyonce. Tip number 1. You don't have to push the button to listen to the Beyonce. You might have Spotify or Tidal or Apple Music or whatever. You are tempted to push the button because I know it's very difficult. Like, there's Beyonce pictures of the album all over the place, and people kind of been talking about some stuff and you're kind of interested, but you don't like Beyonce. So I would rather you not push the button because it's going to make you so upset in your heart. Tip number 2, okay? Avoid at all costs typing on your social media, whichever one you use, I don't like Beyonce. See, if you type I don't like Beyonce somewhere, then someone's going to engage you in some conversation about Beyonce, and then you're going to get mad, and you might end up liking Beyonce because there's really no reason not to like Beyonce. So actually, you should just put your phone down right now and be like, you know what, I'm not going to engage any longer, okay? That's what you need to do. Lastly, if you even hear a little tiny bit of Beyonce, I want you to stuff your ears with paper towel, wet paper towels. It's totally sanitary because I don't want your brain being embedded with music worms making you almost like Beyonce because you don't like Beyonce. So why are you over here? Okay, I hope that helped. Now we're gonna go jam to Beyonce, and you better not be coming over here telling us how much you don't like Beyonce. Don't you do it.
So I would be in agreement with Tina and all of these things, but over the years, she has used her social media platform to bully anybody who does not have a positive opinion about Beyonce, and makes everybody else look like we're just being mean. or that we're just saying, or we're hate speech, or we're haters, or if you don't like Beyonce, then turn it off, or whatever. No. Here's the thing. We have a right to say how we feel. And there's a reason that music critics exist, because they want to give their unbiased opinion on whether or not somebody's current body of work or current album that's being released, if they resonate with the music or not. So are they a hater too? Because I think the problem is people who critique, people who give honest feedback, people who give an opinion, even if you don't agree with it, that is not hate speech. That is not a troll. A troll is somebody who is deliberately saying inflammatory things, inflammatory statements that is going to get you going, right? That is going to say completely disgusting and nasty things about Beyonce that have nothing to do with anything other than the sole purpose to attract the beehive to attack them and sting them in the comments, right? But that's not what this is. Because there are actual Beyonce fans who also do not understand this era, who do not understand, this direction, who do not like this album, who feels that, there's some issues with the cohesion of the album, there's some issues with the production of the album, they had some issues with some of the vocals on the album, and of the constant changes and updates that are actively taking place as we speak, depending on what people's feedback is telling you, like I said in my last video, that this whole era was rushed. This entire era was rushed because if all of the appropriate songs were laid out in advance for this album, we shouldn't have to go back and add 5 more, right? If you had a clear direction of what you wanted this album to be, but you keep flip-flopping, saying one moment it's a country album, then saying the next moment it's not a country album, it's a Beyonce album, but now you're actively updating your liner notes to talk about the history of cowboys and slavery. But none of that history is in any of your music, is in any of the songs, right? So again, all of this clarification and then the back and forth on when you actually started this country album, was it after the CMAs, or was it during the pandemic, or was it both, or was it neither, or was it last year after you lost Album of the Year? Like, here's the thing. People are feeling as though they are forced to say something positive about this album. They are being forced as if they do not say anything that is nothing but praise about Beyonce, that it's a hate speech, or that, you're just a hater, you just don't like Beyonce. These are coming from people who actually like Beyonce. But this is the problem. This is why so many people do not stream Beyonce's recent albums compared to her earlier ones, is because you guys refuse to hold her accountable. You refuse to say, you know what? This was not Beyonce's, best body of work. This was not her best album, right? And all of the things. But the people, who need to say that are not going to say it, because they're going to the shade room, they're going to neighborhood talk, they're going to Twitter, and the moment that anybody says that, they get attacked, right? And then it gets to the point where people are leaving comments like, well, I guess we have to say this is good because it's Beyonce. I guess we have to hype this up because it's Beyonce, but are we really going to be honest on how we feel about the tracks without being attacked? That's where we are right now. That if any critique that is not bending over backwards and saying this album is 5 stars, and that this album is no skips, and that every single song on this album is perfection, and that this album is cohesively telling you the history of country music, that this album is cohesively telling you Beyonce's purpose of doing this album, that you're a hater. That you hate Beyonce. No. We have to update the talking points, people. Because The same way you're going at this and preventing people from speaking their truth and speaking their opinion on this album, you guys are the first ones on any other artist, if they put out this same album as Beyonce did, and it was a different artist that did it, if it was Rihanna that put out an album like this, if it was Jennifer Hudson that put out an album like this, if it was Janet Jackson that put out an album like this, that you felt wasn't cohesive, that you felt that the vocals were not right, that you felt, you know, that the order of songs or some of the storytelling in some of the songs, or you felt some of the things, which is a true statement. Some people do feel this album is a little bit vulgar, more vulgar than what they were expecting this to be. And some people were not comfortable with some of the, you know, the rap singing, the trap music. Some people aren't feeling that. Right? And it's not an issue of experimenting with different sounds. It's not like Beyonce hasn't experimented before. That's not the issue here. But the purpose behind it keeps changing. But then when you listen to certain songs, you realize that there really is only one reason she's doing this. And the reason that she's doing this is she wants Album of the Year. And we just have to be honest. We have to be honest on what it is. And there's additional tracks because you wanted to have additional tracks, that you are one of the primary songwriters, right? Because you think that that is what's going to get you the win for Album of the Year. But your own peers have said that you have alienated them due to either you wanting to take full credit for the writing and the publishing, or they feel that they were disrespected by you. So it's not personal, right? Or they just flat out don't feel you had the best album. Not everything, you guys, is racist or all of these things. I think a lot of you guys either might be too young to remember or are selectively remembering a lot of the issues that happened earlier in Beyonce's career, and a lot of the things that happened with a lot of black female artists who basically were, you know, sabotaged, right? You know, in favor of Beyonce being the only black artist, the black female artist that we are only allowed to celebrate. And we have to keep it a buck for what it is, right? There's some people who unfortunately do not like competition. There's some people who unfortunately feel that if there's more than one black person in a given genre or in a given field or area of specialties, certain people, instead of working together, they see it as a threat. But when we look at our greats, when we look at Prince, when we look at Whitney Houston, when we look at Michael Jackson, they didn't care on, you know, how big or how small of an artist you were. If they felt that you were going to, you know, contribute and bring a good record or a good duet or a good song that they wrote, they're going to use you. They're going to hire you. They're going to utilize you for your talent. And it's not this negativity thing. It's not this competition thing. It's not this thing where only good PR, only good stories about you have to exist. Because you're talking about the artist who actually received the most criticism and hate out of everybody. Whitney Houston, once, you know, the stuff came out about the alleged drug use and all that stuff, then it was open season on her and Bobby Brown in the tabloids. And not about the contributions that she's making to music, right? And then Michael Jackson, the moment that he speaks out about the music industry and speaks out about Sony and all these things and how they're trying to take away his you know, music, his publishing, his rights, then they start springing these alleged child molestation charges against him to completely dismantle this man's reputation, in which the victims themselves said that these were all money grabs and knew exactly what they were doing. And then even the case with Prince. Anytime Prince tried to speak out about, you know, where the direction of music was going or how it was important for him as an artist, you know, not to commercialize everything, and how, you know, ownership of your masters, ownership of your music, and the direction of where music was going, the importance of songwriting, playing your own music, playing your own instruments, and all of these things. And even he got railroaded. And it started when he dared to speak out against his record label, Warner Brothers, who was sabotaging him. That was the beginning of the end, and he was putting slave on the side of his cheek. But you guys either are too young to remember all of that, or you choose to ignore it and only think that Beyonce is the only black artist in the history of music who has ever received a critique. And so as a result, anybody now who has anything that is not positive about this album to say, or this rollout to say, is now a hater. It is now, needs to be attacked, needs to be dragged. No. Here's the thing, not everybody is going to like everything that you say and do, and that is okay. But if people want to give a real critique on this Cowboy Carter album, and if there are people who are diehard Beyonce fans, and even some who identify as the Beehive, that are saying, listen, I love Beyonce, I rock with Beyonce, blah, 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 but this album I'm not feeling. I may like these 2 or these 3 tracks, but the rest of the album I can't listen to. Or I feel this is too vulgar, this is too much, this is not the same Beyonce that I enjoyed the first few albums. That is not trolling. That is not being a hater. That is not dragging Beyonce or saying anything that is completely out of bounds about Beyonce, or, saying some type of crazy name about her or anything. That is giving an opinion, people. But it is clear, we're only literally a couple days into this album release, and the overreaction that is taking place right now, due to the backlash and due to the stories that keep changing surrounding this album, it's giving validity to some of the claims that people have rightfully been claiming in regards to all of this. And that's the piece that you guys are not realizing. The more you guys try to shut this down and try to shut down anybody not having an opinion you prefer on Beyonce, is giving more light that there's something else that you're trying to cover up here regarding this rollout. So there is that. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Please do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you're notified the moment I post new content on my channel. And with that being said, I'll talk to you guys again very soon.